Hey guys, hey, how you guys are doing? Is you guys doing? Because today is Sunday and I got a few moments to myself. So I thought that I would come on here and kind of give you a little recap of what happened this week and so where to start? Okay, so I went for my psyche valve. We could start there. I went for my psyche valve on, I want to say Tuesday? Was it Tuesday? Could have been Wednesday. I don't day here. I have no damn clue. No clicky. So, I went for my psyche valve and it went great. It went fine. It went absolutely, no hitch. So, I asked him at length, do you think I'm crazy? I mean, other than me being crazy. But, I don't like lying to people. Like, that's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people will just tell them what they want to hear. Like, when he asked, do you feel on a scale of 1 to 10, how good is your marriage? And I was like, does anybody say 10? And he's like, oh yeah, all the time. And I'm like, I don't think anybody's got a perfect marriage. I said, I'm a good solid 6. And, there's always room for improvement. Am I right? So, we talked about that and we talked about the revision and, what it entailed. And we talked a lot about, my emotional eating, even though he's not my, psychologist. He's not my, he didn't technically belong to me. He'll probably never see me again. I wanted to kind of pick his brain a little bit. So, I said, how many people come in here, that are getting the bariatric surgery, and do they answer you honestly? He's like, I haven't really met many of the bariatric patients here that I couldn't definitively say that they are emotional eaters. So we talked about transfer addiction, because one thing leads to another and leads to another. And I had an hour and a half there, and Lord Jesus, like, hey, I had more than enough time. So I just kept, picking his brain. I like to sponge, So, we started talking about transfer addiction and how lots of people he's seen come in for the sleeve and the gastric bypass, and they come back later with cirrhosis of the liver and other things, addicted to opioids, and still people like me, still addicted to food. He's like, that doesn't really go away. Unless you're in cognitive behavioral therapy, unless you're actively taking a role in that and like being honest with yourself and like being honest with your family and mostly being honest with yourself. I know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like I'm asleep. It's not like I'm in the kitchen like, I'm gonna open a can of peanut butter, open the can of jelly, get out 2 pieces of bread, I don't wake up and like magically there's a peanut butter sandwich there. No, girl, like I would go into the kitchen and make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and then I would start to eat said peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and even if it made me sick, didn't matter at that point in time. It didn't matter. So, I mean, people will act surprised at like gaining weight. They act surprised that, the 5,000 calories they consumed yesterday had an impact. Like, and I'm just like, no, you know what you did, girl. Like, don't be playing around being like, oh, I don't know how I gained that much weight. It's weird. I mean, you're like, I'm on the treadmill like 16 hours a day. I don't have time for food. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of. And then we talked about the gym, and we talked about, the revision, and, he's like, you're an excellent candidate. You're very knowledgeable, obviously, in bariatrics. He's like, you'll probably be fine, you know. So there went that, and then I spent a lot of time in the hospital going from different places. So I went up to pain management, and I need a letter to go on vacation this week, so that I can bring some of my pain medication. So I have to go get that signed this week. Then I went over to go see Kelly, which is my bariatric coordinator. And, you know, I asked her a whole bunch of questions because that's what I do. Like, I have 1,000 questions. I wanted to know if I'm going to have a TPN. I wanted to know, you know, how long he intends to keep this PICC line in. I want to know how long he's going to keep me in the hospital. I like definitive answers. Like, I like individual definitive answers of, okay, this is my plan. Let's you know, if we get up on this, I want to have all this in my head, and so that I can plan how to get around it and how to work with it and how to make sure things are good. Because I told you guys, I want to say, I hope I told you guys the last time while we're moving off base. Did I? I make so many videos and don't upload them. I'll mention it again. So, in order for us to save money while Matthew is in Korea, we have to move off base because they take it all. They take all of our BHA or BAH. I always get dyslexia. So they take all of them. I'm actively trying to stare at this little camera hole for you guys, and it's absolutely driving me batty. So you'll see me like constantly. The hole is like, it's like the end of a pin. I want. Anyway, so for us to save money and put money in the bank, so when Matthew is out of the military and he's going to school, we have extra money, and you know, we have a nest egg, and you know what I'm saying. Like, it's more important right now for us to move off the base. But having said that, we have decided not to move off base until I have my revision. So back to what I was talking about. Yes, I know a lot of you are very worried. I know a lot of you are, you know, don't want me to do it. I get it. I really do. I appreciate you guys more than you know. I do read every single solitary comment that comes through. Okay, so I'm not ignoring anybody who has a different opinion about it. You know, I take everything into consideration. Like, you guys don't even know. Well, I obsess. I have been obsessing about this for 2 years. Like, trying to figure out what I want to do, you know? And the time has come for me to make my decision, because there's a huge possibility I'll be getting it in November. Like, a gigantic possibility. Like, you're on the top of the list for November possibility. So that is a lot on me, because I have a little over a month and a half to, you know, get the balls for it, I guess. So yeah, so I went and talked, actually saw him. I don't have those papers in here. I got all my labs back. My labs are great. My labs are really good. My A1C is super low, probably the lowest I've ever had it. And for somebody with a sugar addiction, that's real good. That's a real good, girl. Thank you, Jesus. No diabetes for this girl. My one thing that was high, and I believe I know why. One thing that was high, and I believe I know why, is my LDH, the bad cholesterol. It's between 0 and 70, and mine's 84. It's cheese. It's dairy, like 100%, because like it's cheese and dairy. So that is something that I have to keep my eye on. I know 14 points isn't really that huge of a deal, but I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really nervous about it. Everyone in my family has died from, heart disease in one way or another. I'm gonna pass on the heart disease if we could, please and thank you. Yeah, so everything else came out really, 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 really well. I would like to have a DEXA scan to kind of look at my bone density again. So I'm going to ask him to schedule me one. I also want to talk to my PCM about my cholesterol. See, the deal is my good cholesterol is great. My triglycerides, right on point, but that last bit scares me. That's the one that starts building, the walls up in your arteries, and like, I don't feel like dying today. Know what I'm saying? Even with as much exercise as I've managed. So I think that's something like super important for you guys to focus on too. When they give you back your panels and stuff like that, don't just look at like what they've circled. Like, go through everything and see what's low and see what's high, because it'll have like a little bracket and it'll say H and L, and then look those up on Google. Find out what they're for. See why it's low, or make a plan. You have to be your biggest advocate, because nobody said anything to me. Like when he was like, "Oh yeah, your labs came out perfect." When Kayla was like, "Those are some damn good labs." Like, neither one of them said anything about my cholesterol. You see what I'm saying? Like, you have to be your own advocate. You do. So, yeah. So he's trying to get me in for my informational, where he sits down with me and we really talk about the DS and also, I'm pretty sure that with the DS, my cholesterol issue will be fixed, because you malabsorb fat. So yeah, so that's that. I just wanted to talk to him about all the little intricacies, and I wanted him to be, I wanted him to know. So I sent an email, and then so there's that. And then that's all I did that day. And then I had my nutritional class. Oh my God, y'all. To sit and listen to people, like, they give you this questionnaire, okay? And I know my surgeon's office watches my stuff, so they know me, and you know what I'm gonna say, because it's the same thing I'm gonna tell you the next time I see you, is that if this is going to be the only nutritional class you're going to give them, okay, I know you give them a seminar, but if this is going to be the only nutritional class you give them, that is not enough information. That doesn't explain why you shouldn't drink from a straw. They're like, give up straws. But why? It's hard for me, because I sit in there and I listen, because you could feel the room. Everyone's nervous. Everyone's kind of slightly excited. Everyone's looking around to see who's the biggest person in the room, and of course I'm sitting there going, I don't want to be here. I could teach this class. They didn't teach me a damn thing. So they ask everybody around the room, and I knew it was coming. I was just hoping that maybe I wouldn't have to. What are you here for? Who are you? So everyone's like, "Hi, my name's Sleeve. My name's blah, blah, Sleeve. My name's Sleeve. My name's blah, 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 Sleeve." I mean, there was like probably 25 people in there, and like 2 people said, perhaps. They didn't say definite. They said perhaps the RNY. And then, they're like, "Well, why haven't you decided?" Because I have GERD, So, I mean, there's that. And then they get to me and I lose it. Like, I'm just like, I get bright red, and like, I'm not much of a public speaker. I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable. When all eyes are on me, I don't like it. So I was like, I really didn't want to do this. And I could have just said, oh yeah, I'm here for the sleeve. Or I could have said, I'm here for a DS. They didn't even know what a DS was. They didn't even know what the DS was. I would not allow someone to chop on my body if I didn't know what was available. No, it wouldn't. Son of a gun. So, we went, of course, we had to stop for like 10 minutes to talk about my story because I said, I'm a unique case. I'm going to be the only person here who is going to be having a revision of their gastric bypass to a duodenal switch. I said DS at first, to a DS. I used the word, no. I used the word failed gastric bypass. I should be more clear when I say stuff like that because my gastric bypass, and I've flip-flopped between this, but, just being more and more in tune with who I am, like, I didn't fail my gastric bypass. My gastric bypass did not fail me. I have an issue with my intestines and the thing running into the stoma running into my intestines, but my gastric bypass did not fail me. I've kept off over 200 pounds for 4 years. I don't call that failure. Did I get it all off? No. Did I gain it back? I was trying. I was giving it a good old college try. But, it's just kind of, you got to get your poop in a group. You got to get your shit together, So, there was that. And I told them, and they wanted, of course, they wanted more in depth. Why did this happen? What is that something that happens often? And I'm like, structures do happen often, but what happened to me probably won't happen to you. It's different when you have a pyloric valve. And of course, people see the 500, 600 calories, and they're like, oh, I don't know how on God's green earth I'll be able to eat that little. And I'm like, for probably, I'm going to say a good 6 months, you're probably not going to get in more than 200 or 300 calories if you're really lucky, because you're going to be fighting to get water down for most of the time. Yeah, and get your protein in. So for the first hot while, excuse me. So, excuse me again. They were really nice. That if I never have to do another nutritional class again, that'd be a good time. So I think that's good for now, guys. Like, I've almost yammered again for like 18 minutes. So I love your beautiful, gorgeous, amazing faces. I hope everybody is staying safe in Florida and Georgia and, over there. I'm terrified my poor mama's in it. And so is my brother. Got lots of friends and family who are hurting right now, and I've been thinking about you guys a lot. So hopefully I will talk to you guys again very, very, very soon. Bye.